everyone, welcome back to my Earth Friendly Kitchen. I'm Maria, your host, and today we're going to be making stuffed zucchini boats. Everyone knows that I just love a good summer squash, zucchini, yellow squash, those are my favorites. And I like to do all kinds of recipes with them because they usually grow in abundance in my garden. Except for this year, my garden has unfortunately been unattended, so we got the best ones we could find at the store for ourselves today. So I'm just going to take this onion that I have, my mother-in-law's been kind of peeling away at over time. So I'm just going to use the rest of it for our purposes here. I'm going to chop up, so it's about a half an onion or so that's left for this dish. And they're going to be pretty small bites. You want to make sure that, you know, you have a good chop for aesthetics, but also for the cook itself. You want everything to cook nice and evenly. We're going to do 4 cloves of garlic. You could do more, you could do less, you know, whatever you like. We love garlic in this house, so we use a lot of it. And we're just going to chop these up into the same small, even smaller actually, dices than the onion because, you know, I mean, unless you're one of our family members, not a lot of people like to bite into a big old piece of garlic. We do. It's good for the heart, good for the blood. Old Italian wives' tale. I've got my heat on here for my little pan, my local pan, not so for my stove, so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil in here. Get that hot. These little griddle pans are actually really cool. I'll send you a link into the one that we have. It's great for, you know, on-the-go cooking, if you're camping and you have access to electricity, or if your stove goes out for whatever reason. This cooks very high temperatures. You can go from low, medium to high, just like you would an electric stove, and it's pretty cool. I really like it a lot for this kind of purpose. So now that it's nice and hot, we're going to add our onions and garlic. Okay, everybody in the pool? Okay, and while that's cooking, we're going to prep our zucchini. So I'm just going to cut the ends off on either side. Now I got some fairly large zucchini because we're just going to make nice large boats, but you can get whatever size you want. You can get however many you want because one zucchini is going to make 2 boats. So we cut them lengthwise, and then we're going to just take a spoon and we're going to scoop out the insides, but save them. Don't throw them away. Okay? And if you have a good ripe zucchini, this should be fairly easy to do with a spoon. The reason I don't use a knife is because I don't want to cut through all the way. I mean, sometimes I still do on accident, even with a spoon, but I try not to. Okay? You are making a boat for your filling. Once you make a couple of divots, you can just scrape it out really nicely. So you basically want to hollow it out like that. And then just repeat until all your zucchini boats are ready. Now to your onions and garlic, once they've sweat a little bit, you're going to put in 1 pound of ground beef, or you could do this with ground turkey, ground pork. Really, you could do it with whatever you want as far as protein goes. And then the fat from the beef is going to render out, and it's going to make it even juicier in the pan. That's why we only use just a little bit of olive oil to start. Let's keep going on our zucchinis. Every now and then a chunk breaks off. That's okay. We're just going to cut that up and use it, and this boat's just going to be a little bit shorter than everybody else. See what I mean about cutting through even with a spoon? Okay, so now that our zucchini boats have been emptied out, I'm going to take the bigger pieces of this zucchini and I'm going to chop it up so that we're going to be mixing it in, cooking it down, and it's going to still be the filling along with our beef. Just for that zucchini, you know, deliciousness. And I'm gonna be honest with you, we're gonna have more filling than we have room for in our boats. But this is also great thrown into like pasta or over rice for like a second meal. You can get 2 meals out of this prep. Honestly, it's really a banger for your buck. Give your ground beef a stir. As you stir it, you want to break it up even more and more into smaller bite-sized pieces. Then to your bowl of zucchini, you're going to chop up 2 Roma tomatoes. Doesn't have to be super small. You know, these tomatoes will shrink down in size because of all the moisture that they're going to lose when they cook. Still don't want them to be big, but they don't have to be a fine dice like you would in like a pico de gallo or a salsa. Okay, so 2 Romas right into with our zucchinis. And when the meat is mostly brown is when you want to add your zucchini and tomatoes. The reason for that is because if you add it in too soon, the meat will steam as opposed to brown or get nice and caramelized. And that could actually make it a little bit chewy sometimes when you wind up at the end of the day. Fun fact. Now at this point, we're also going to season. So we're going to do a little bit of salt, a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder. We're mimicking the flavors of our already ingredients. We're going to do some fresh ground pepper. And you're going to let this cook until all the veggies are super soft and cooked through. Forgot my parsley, guys. It's okay. While that's finishing up cooking, I'm going to go ahead and grate about 4 ounces of mozzarella cheese. To a bowl, you're going to put about 8 ounces of ricotta cheese, about a 1/4 cup of Parmesan or pecorino cheese, blend it up. You're going to want to cook this down until all the water that escapes from the veggies has evaporated. And before all the water is evaporated, it's a good time to give it a good taste to see if you need to add any kind of spice or seasoning or anything to the dish. It actually could use a little salt, but I'm not going to add the salt because you have salt here in the cheese between the ricotta and the Parmesan or pecorino, plus a little bit of the mozzarella that's going to be on top. It's going to be perfect with it. Okay, now that all of the water has evaporated, I'm going to be just taking this meat mixture right into the cheese. And you'll see that it's going to melt the ricotta and the Parmesan or pecorino that you're using so that everything just really blends right together. And we're just going to mix it in. So now we're going to take our zucchini boats. We're going to lay them on a parchment paper lined sheet. And we're just going to scoop the mixture into our boats nice and flat. Okay. See what I mean about having leftovers? This would be amazing for some lunches over pasta. Just mix it in and be like a creamy, almost like a bolognese almost, if you add a little bit more tomato sauce maybe. Then you're going to take the cheese that we shredded and you're just going to sprinkle it right on top generously. Get the good kind and it spreads really nicely. And then we're going to pop these in the oven at 400 degrees until the cheese is all melty and the zucchini on the bottom is nice and roasted through. Okay, so these have been in the oven for about 20-25 minutes or so. They are beautiful golden brown on top. The zucchini should be nice and roasted through. I'm just going to scoop one out here. Nice and soft. Oh, so steamy, so melty, delicious. I'm just going to cut a little piece off here. Zucchini is cooked perfectly. It still has a little bit of a crisp to it. You don't want it to be mushy, right? You want it to hold its own because it has the filling inside that's nice and just all deliciousness. It's going to be so hot. Oh my God. It's hot, but it is so good. You will have to let this sit for a minute to just cool down before you serve it to guests, because they're going to want to start just diving right in. It is so delicious. That creaminess, that pecorino and ricotta really gave it the salt that it needed. It didn't need anything extra that I put in already. So this is great for a weeknight meal. You know, feeds 6, or if you want to have 2, feeds 3. You guys, but I hope you love it. Use your leftovers for pasta. It's going to be great in there as well. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more recipes like this. See you on the next one. Bye.